All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakakadash, and the Heavenly Father. The true name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Bahashem, and the name of Hamashiach Habashai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew, the Lashma Kadash of the tongue, and I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, wa Akim Akwaf, and I say Shalom. This is a prophecy update. Now I'm doing it outside. Normally I do it at home, sit down lesson. No, normally I do sit down lessons of prophecy updates, but I'm doing it out here outside and Wadi Habash Mashai. So this is a prophecy update as of September the 15th, 2025, on this Monday night. So I'm bringing out some news articles that I brought out when I was out teaching on the highways and edges. Yeah, so these was the latest news articles that I had screenshot. Yep, that I had screenshot. So I'm gonna see if I can be able to go to them out of Ratzah Yahweh. Yep, you had a yep, this is alarming. Yep, this is from People's World News as of September the 15th, 2025. And it was at 2:30 p.m. That was the time of the news article that was published. And you had alarming. It says alarming in Puerto Rico about the use of islands for U.S. aggression in Latin America. Right? Because I would say like a week and a half ago, you had over there in Puerto Rico, the United States sent like 10 like war jets, 10 war fighter jets. I believe they F-16 jets or something like that. If last time I checked, if I'm correct about that. So they haven't, because we already having stirring up tensions between down there in Latin America, between the president Maduro and the president of the United States as well too. We already seeing that's taking place. And then I believe it was a news article saying that the reason why the United States sent F-16 jets down there, I believe they sent 10 down. They sent like 10 of them down there because of drug trafficking or something like that, and the heavy crime that's going on over there in Puerto Rico. So they tackling that as well too. So it won't be no drugs that's been entering in the United States. They're tackling that as well too, just like they're doing it down there in Venezuela. So that shows us that the tensions are only going to stir up. But they had a protest right here. They had a protest over. It says no mobilization in Puerto Rico, right? Because you had the so-called Puerto Ricans. They from the tribe of Ephraimites, and it was a video picture they were showing that. No mobilization in Puerto Rico, and that was from September the 7th. And I think that's the actual day on September the 7th that they had sent those F-16 jets. They sent like 10 of those F-16 jets was deployed to Puerto Rico to tackle the situation that's going on down there in that area, just like they did down there in Venezuela. They 3.5 weeks ago they sent some warship jets down there right along with the army troops down there to Latin America to tackle the situation with the drug trafficking that's entering in the United States, supposedly, if that's true or not, But I just want to add a side note to that. Right, because like the scripture says, what's that, Matthew, the 24th chapter, there shall be wars and rumors of wars. The next verse of Matthew 24:7, that should be wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, which goes into ethnos. So you're going to have a nation within itself rise against one another, and then outside of another nation rise against another nation. And that's what we're seeing down there in Latin America. We're seeing the United States going against the Puerto Rico down there in that area, attacking that situation. You got the Venezuelan armies versus the United States armies, because you got the Venezuelan armies on standby. Because Maduro, he said those latest boat incidents, he looked at that as an act of war on their country. And that's what we're seeing, a nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's only going to continue to increase. Wars and rumors of wars, that's going to continue to increase as well too. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And it says Pakistan. Yeah, this is right. This is from the Associated Press, about if that's correct. Yeah, this is from Peshawar, Pakistan, from the Associated Press. It says Pakistan says it killed 31 militants in the northwest as resurgence offers talks. Right, because you've been seeing the resurgence between those Pakistanis, those Elamites over there in that region, a border dispute. Because you've been having militants in that area, right along with the I would say the Elam, those army group and those proxy groups. They've been they've been at clashes with for a very long time. Especially the year 2020. I would say the year 2024 and all the way to now this year as well too. What's that? Luke 21 verse 25. There shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars upon the earth. The skirts of nations will perplex the seas rage roaring. That's what we're seeing. And this is another news article. It says deadly attacks and collapsing service pushing Sudan closer to catastrophic. Right, because Sudan, they going throughout 2015 and all the way to now, you've been having different organization factors that's been taking place over there in Sudan. You've been having seditions among the nations, clashing against one another. You've been having the government armies going against the rebel groups armies down there in Sudan and South Sudan as well too. And that's what we're seeing, right? So as it says once again, it says this is from the United Nations, the global perspective of human service. It says the deadly attacks on collapsing service pushing Sudan closer to catastrophic, right? Catastrophic, and that's what we're seeing. Just like we're seeing what's taking place over there in Congo, tensions are heating up. We're seeing what's taking place over there in Sudan, South Sudan, and throughout Sudan. That's what you call uproars of people world. That Luke 21 verse 25, and that 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 3, and that's what we're seeing. Yep, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And this is another news article. It says the WHO battle said the Ebola outbreak in African state, right? The Congo. Yep, it says Congo has received about 400 doses to begin the Rebirth campaign, right? And that's what we're seeing. What's that? 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 5. It says, "Behold, said the heavenly Father Yahweh, that I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." So we're seeing these plagues and pestilence and plagues that we're seeing over there in Ebola, over there in Congo, the Ebola outbreak, this cholera outbreak, this Listeria outbreak, this Mpox outbreak, different type of various and pestilent plagues and outbreaks that we're going to be seeing in these times, you know. All right, get to some more news articles. It says Trump vows to justice after a Indian origin man beheaded. Right, because you had, I believe he was an Asherite. It happened like over there in Texas or something like that. Dallas, Texas. Yeah, I think Dallas, Texas. And I think it happened like on a Saturday or Sunday or something like that. You had this, I believe he was a migrant from Cuba. And then Donald Trump was saying that he's going to use the full justice on him. Because it was an Indian origin man, which is Elam, because that's the Indians, East Indians, biblical nationality, Elam, the East Indians of Elam. And then you had this Cuban guy, he was an Asherite, from the tribe of Asher. And I believe he had beheaded a man, because I believe they had some type of confrontation or something like that. So that shows that, what's that, Matthew 24th chapter? Because iniquity should abound, the love of many shall wax cold, and that's what we're going to be seeing. Yep, it says Trump vows to justice after the Indian origin man was beheaded, right? He was beheaded. Hey, because iniquity should abound, the love of many shall wax cold. What's that? 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. Also, in latter days, perilous times shall come, and that's what we're seeing. And this is another news article. It says this is from the Bridget, I think that's the name of the news article. It says the European Central Bank's plans to decide next steps for the central digital currency. Right, and that goes into that Revelations 13 verse 16, the verse 18, we're getting closer and closer to the pushing of the central digital currency, the full adoption of it. That's why we've been seeing the digital dollar, digital ID, digital wallet, digital currency, the CBC plot, the CBC trial, the CBC test, as it's getting closer and closer to the final steps of the pushing of this central digital currency. And this is another major prophecy that's going to come to pass, we feel as well too. And that's what we do. That's why we do MOTB news updates about the digital currency, about the MARK of the BASC of the RFID CHIP as well too. This is the new currency that we're about to enter into. That's why we're seeing 130 plus countries leaning towards this cashless society, because the paper dollar that we know is going to be the thing of the past, and it's this digital dollar, digital money, digital banking, digital assets. That's going to be the new global currency. Because the paper dollar of the currency right now is going to be the thing of the past. So we're seeing the paper dollar is very soon is going to be losing its value, because the paper dollar is going to be the thing of the past. This digital currency, that's going to be the new currency. You know, Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, that's going to be the new form of currency. And they're going to usher in the RFID CHIP of the MOTB as well too on top of that. And this is the book of so I'm going to leave it at that. And this is a news article. It says from the Associated Press, because I took a screenshot of this earlier today, before I came out. Yep, this is a news article from the Associated Press as of September 15, 2025, and it reads: It says U.S. and South Korea and Japan opens a joint air navy exercise, right? Because the ongoing tensions are heating up between North Korea and South Korea, Japan, and the United States. You know, throughout the years, and recently, I would say for the past 4 or 5 years, the tensions been heating up between, especially North Korea and South Korea. And I think they from the tribe of Ammonites, so-called Koreans. You know, North Korea and South Korea. So the tensions have only been heating up. Oh, and you had a news article as well too. I believe Kim Jong-un's sister was sending a warning to the United States. She sent the warning to South Korea, Japan, and the United States as well too, because of the building up the military exercise drills, the building up the military presence down in there in the Korean Peninsula. So that shows you that the tensions are only going to heat up between North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, and the United States as well too. Yep, so as it says, once again, South Korea, Japan, and the United States open drill air navy exercise. Right, so the tensions are only going to heat up. Right, Matthew 24th chapter, wars and rumors of wars. The wars and rumors of wars heating up between these nations. And this is a news article, and keep this in mind, and this makes perfect sense as well too, because we had, I would say this past Saturday, because today is Monday, so this happened like 2 days ago. You had it was some protests that over there in London, over there in the UK. They had unite the kingdom, you know, unite the United Kingdom, because you got a lot of Edomites over there, and then you had a lot of Israelites that have been, I think they have migrated over there in the UK, over there in London. That's what we've been seeing. And then you had anti-migration protests. And then you've been having an anti-racist protest, and that's what we've been seeing over there in the UK, over there in London. So, and then you've been having Antifa been doing protests over there in London as well too. And then you have pro-immigration as well too over there. So you've been seeing divisions on both sides. What's that? St. Mark the 3rd chapter. If a kingdom be divided, yourself the king cannot stand. So we're seeing the Edomites are being divided against one another. You got the Antifa Edomites, the liberal Edomites, and you got the conservative Edomites being divided against one another, and that's what we're seeing. And that goes into that 2nd Esdras chapter 9 verse 3, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars people world. So we see in the uproars people world, just like it says in the book of Luke 21 verse 25, there should be signs in the sun and the moon, and upon the earth the distress of nations will perplex sea rage roar, and that's what we're seeing. And this is the book of, as it says from RT.com. This was published September 15, 2025. It says Elon Musk tells BRICS violence is coming to you. Right, Elon Musk said at his own mouth, he says violence is coming to you. And keep this in mind, and that makes perfect sense, because we've been seeing this increasing throughout the years and recently, because you had that individual, I believe he was a migrant. You had that incident that happened like a year ago, when there was Edomites they got stabbed up, they got deleted, but they had some type of Taylor Swift. They had some type of Taylor Swift event that was going on, and then you had an individual when it sat in there. He stabbed up like 3 kids or something like that, 3 or 4 kids or something like that, and I believe they had arrested him. Now that happened like last year. I remember that as well too. And then you had, and there was another one too. You had some migrants that migrated from Algeria or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, because you could have a lot of people that's from the diaspora of in these different countries. They migrated over there in the UK, over there in London, over there. Some people like from Algeria, people like from Sudan, people like from different countries around the world. And that's what we've been seeing, though. So that's why you've been having the the Edomites over there over there in Great Britain. You know, they was protesting against they was protesting against migration, immigration over there in that area, over there in London. So that's what's happened over here in America, and we're seeing that over there in London as well too. It says St. Mark the 3rd chapter, if a kingdom be divided, yourself the king cannot stand. So we're going to have division between the Edomites from the liberals and the conservatives. We're going to have division between the Ishmaelites going against the Edomites, the diaspora of the Israelites going against the Edomites as well too. That's why we're going to be seeing heavy clashes. Yep, it says Elon Musk says BRICS violence is coming to you. Right, it says violence is coming to you. It says the tech billionaire has told a crowd of British protesters to fight back, or DIE, right? Just like the Edomites over here. white boy fight back, white boy fight back, white boy fight back. Little do they know, they have a division between one another, the liberal Edomites and the conservative Edomites. And that's how cold the Heavenly Father is setting that up. Now we understand this is an order out of chaos. You know, the elites of this society, they create that narrative, that order out of chaos. Because sometimes there might be false flag attacks, false flag narratives, that as well too, because we're not ignorant of our sacred devices. And Edomite fight back, Edomite fight back, because that's their original, that's their biblical nationality, the Edomite, so-called white people. It was like white boy fight back, white boy fight back. So we're gonna see that increasing. Hey, expect to see more divisions between the Edomites from the liberal side of the Antifa, the radical leftists, and the conservatives, and the Edomite conservatives as well too. And that's when we're seeing more tensions, and it's only going to stir up. Yep, it says Elon Musk tells BRICS to violence is coming to you. It says the tech billionaire has told the crowd of British protesters to fight back or DIE, right? To fight back or DIE. So that shows you that the tensions are only going to stir up. So expect to see in these next couple of months, expect to see more protests taking place every Saturday, every Friday, or every Sunday. And just like you had those heavy protests that was taking place over there in Paris, France, I believe they was blocking everything. I believe it lasted from Friday to Saturday, just like those yellow vest protests that were taking years back. And we're going to see that protest been taking place recently over there in Paris, France as well too. So I wouldn't be surprised these Edomites rise up against one another and rise up against the other nations. And this is another news article from RT.com as of September the 15th, 2025. It reads, it says China warns U.S. over Russian oil threats. It says Washington pushing for the highest levies in the examples of bullying and economic socialism. Beijing has said, right? Beijing has said. So this is what you call a economical war and a political war as well too. Political war, economical war, and a trade war. And the oil war as well too, and that's what we're seeing. Because you've been having the alliance between China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and definitely between China and Russia. And China was warning the United States for them potentially to using economical sanctions and oil sanctions against Russia. So that's only going to stir up more tensions. Like it says in Matthew 24 verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Matthew 24 verse 6, wars and rumors of wars, that's only going to continue to increase. It says NATO to de facto a war with Russia, Kremlin reports. The military bloc support for the Kyiv regimes make it a party to the Ukraine conflict, the spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has said, right? Because ever since then, I would say for these past couple of weeks, we've been seeing tensions stirring up between NATO and Russia, Belarus or Russia versus NATO versus the EU. So these Edomite nations going to heat up against one another, and that's what we're seeing.
Besides Los Angeles and Chicago, few cities are as deeply entrenched in gang culture as the city of Memphis, where the sheer density of the criminal groups has become a defining element.
Those are previous news articles. Now I'm going to bring out the scriptures. Since I bring up those latest news articles, those are prophecy updates. Yep, this is the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 9 and verse 3. Yeah, 2nd Esdras chapter 9 and verse 3. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars people in the world. So we're going to continue to see increasing earthquakes and uproars people in the world. It says, it says in uproars people in the world. Right, just like Elon Musk was telling the British protesters, hey, violence is coming. Either you're gonna fight, or either you're gonna fight or DIE. That was coming out from Elon Musk, you know. Hey, so that shows you that the tensions are only going to stir up between these nations. Now, if I bring out that Luke 21 verse 25. Yep, Luke 21 in verse 25. So that's only going to stir up more division between the Edomites and the elites. The elites of this society looking at these Edomites like y'all bugged out, you know. But you know, I'm gonna continue on. It's the book of Luke 21, right? Because all this is set up, you know. All this is set up because we're not ignorant of our Satan devices. Because the elites of this society, they create that narrative, that order out of chaos. Now we understand Edomites; they are hip to that as well too. But at the end of the day, all this orchestrated by the Heavenly Father Yahweh. This is the book of Luke 21 and verse 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars upon the earth, the expressive nations, with complexity red one. Right, so there should be signs in the sun and the stars and the moon, solar eclipse, blood moons, and of course upon the earth, the expressive nations with complexity red one. So we're seeing the seditions among the nations, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, mighty rule against mighty rule. That's what we're seeing. Oh yeah, bring out that St. Mark the 3rd chapter. What do you have about Shemal Shah? Yep, this is the book of St. Mark. Yep, it's the book of St. Mark, chapter 3, verse 24. It says, and if a kingdom be divided, except the kingdom not stand. Right, so if a kingdom be divided, except the kingdom not stand, we seeing the division between Esau and Edom. The liberal Edomite versus the conservative Edomite, and all the nations being divided against one another. That's what we're saying. What's that? Luke 12, verse 51. Yahushua speaking in red letter. He says, think not that I come to send peace on earth, I take neighbor red division. And that's what we're saying. Since I mentioned that, bring that out for edification's sake as well, too. And this is the book of Luke 12 and verse 51. Yep, Luke 12 and verse 51. It says, suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth, I take neighbor red division. Right, and that's what we're seeing, division between the Edomite nations, because Heavenly Father got all this set up. Got the Edomites in the trick bag. Hey, hit the body, how about Shemal Shah? Now we know the elites of this society, as I mentioned once before, they setting up that narrative, that order out of chaos, the false flag narratives, false flag events, order out of chaos. That's what we're seeing. That's why we're not ignorant about Satan devices as well, too. Yep, Matthew 24. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars, rumors wars. Right, nuclear wars are heating up between these nations. Russia versus Ukraine, Russia versus NATO, the Israel Defense Force going against the pro-Iranian groups. We're seeing Venezuela armies versus the United States armies. We're seeing the president of Maduro of Venezuela going against the United States president. That's what we're seeing. And wars and rumors of wars. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not in trouble, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, so we're not going to be troubled with these things. It's going to come to pass. It's going to be fulfilled. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, which goes into ethnos. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Yep, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. So we're going to be seeing the famines and pestilence, plagues, and earthquakes in diverse places, right along with the wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. So that's only going to continue to increase. Salakia for that. So with that, hopefully this prophecy update was edifying out here on outside lesson of the prophecy updates. September the 15th, 2025 on this Monday night. So hopefully this was edifying, the prophecy updates, September 15th, 2025 on this Monday night. So with that, hopefully this was edifying. And with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakar and the Heavenly Father. The true name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Habashai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the last Wakadash tongue. And I said, Barakatham, the city of elders and apostles, Wa Akim Wa Akwa. Until next time, I will say, Kwame Asherallah, and above all, Shalom.